To all our Sports Today family members. It's a super weekend when you have to look at it. And firstly, happy Dashera to all of you, all of our family members. May you enjoy the festivities in a big, big way. Now, before I start, what is on at store on Super Weekend this time? Rishabh Pant's tweet has really caught many people's attention because Rishabh Pant has stated, if I go into the auction, will I be picked or how much will I be sold for? He's asked the people their opinions about how much Rishabh Pant could be picked in the auction if he is put there. Now, that cryptic tweet has kind of gotten everybody's attention as to whether Rishabh Pant will be retained by the Delhi Capitals, because if logic dictates it, Pant is your natural by first year. He's your first pick in the Delhi Capitals side. If he goes into the auction pool, then there will be a big, big tussle amongst all the franchisees to get him. They will not even risk it. Many franchises, especially Delhi Capitals, might not risk an RTM for him. So, Rishabh Pant might just want to ensure that, okay, I am just going to test what will fans say about whether I get picked in the auction pool or not. So it is a very, very interesting tweet that Rishabh Pant has put out, that if I am put in the auction, which side could pick me and which team and how much will I go for? Many people have interpreted that as Delhi Capitals not picking him. Is he going to go to Chennai Super Kings in that sense, which way many people have widely speculated? So that is why he is going to be, if Rishabh Pant is going to be the center of attention for most of the auction build-up when you look at it. By the end of the month, you have to submit the list of your retained players. Maybe it's just a gimmick, maybe it's just a prank, maybe it's just a way of saying that, okay, how much franchises or people would value me at that rate. So Rishabh Pant's tweet has caught many people by surprise. Are Delhi Capitals not retaining him? But if logic dictates, most likely Rishabh Pant is the first pick in the Delhi Capitals lineup. Now, looking at the other bit of news that is there, when the India squad for the New Zealand tests was announced, it was mostly the same team that was picked for the Bangladesh tests, with the exception of Yash Dayal, who was not there. But the squad for the three tests that has been announced features two big names who have not been picked. One, Mohammad Shami. Now, Mohammad Shami, he apparently there were reports that he had suffered bruised knees while on comeback and that the swelling in his knees had not gone away. Mohammad Shami had dispelled that as fake news, but his non-picking for the New Zealand test has indicated that maybe he's facing a race against time to be fit for the Border Gavaskar Trophy, which will begin from November onwards. Mohammad Shami's no presence in the New Zealand test matches indicates that yes, he might directly slot back into the BGT. Whether he will be match fit, whether he will do all the things which is necessary, whether he will play a couple of rounds of Ranji Trophy in order to make himself available, that remains to be seen. But the exclusion of Hardik Pandya. Now, Hardik Pandya was touted to make a comeback in the red ball scheme because everybody was predicting and speculating, oh, he's practicing a lot with the red balls, and that is a big indication that probably he is making a comeback for the BGT and for the World Test Championship final if India make it. But with Hardik Pandya not being picked for the three tests, it might be a clear indication that all those indicators, all those plans that were there might not be true whatsoever. Maybe the selectors are not looking at Hardik Pandya as a test option anymore. He last played in 2019. How on earth can you pick somebody who's not played any form of test cricket for 5 years and then directly pick him in that? Now, this is another issue. If Hardik Pandya is not picked, then that means his test career most likely will not be revived at this point. So all those speculations have kind of been put into the back burner. Whether Hardik Pandya will come back into the test match scheme of things, it remains to be doubtful at this point because he's not even playing the first round of the Ranji Trophy. Now, if he is looking at it, it's going to be a big, big deal if he makes it back in the test team. It will be somewhat of an unprecedented situation. An Indian player coming back into the test team after 5 years. That's a long, long time, and that too without any kind of match practice when you look at it. So, no Mohammad Shami, no Hardik Pandya in the New Zealand test matches, but it is a clear-cut indication that yes, the squad and the depth that is there is huge. Now, in the New Zealand squad, when it was announced, the India-New Zealand squad, Jasprit Bumrah was appointed as the vice captain. Now, that means it's a clear-cut indication that if Rohit Sharma reportedly misses the first two tests, one or two tests that he'll miss in the BGT, Jasprit Bumrah might be your captain for that particular match, because he captained once against England in that one-off test in Birmingham, but then India didn't have success there. Now, not picking a Shubman Gill as your test captain when he's touted as a future white ball captain kind of suggests that yes, it may not be, they are not having that much of confidence in Shubman Gill as the leader, because when you look at white ball, his first stint with the Gujarat Titans did not prove to be that great. So that is why a lot of questions remain around Shubman Gill, whether he will be picked in that, whether he will be in the leadership core in the near future. But Jasprit Bumrah, the vice captain, means that he could be the captain if Rohit Sharma misses one or two tests, reportedly, if that is the case. So that is the current situation that we have. Now, as far as the India versus Bangladesh third T20I is concerned in Hyderabad, there is a threat of rain today. And they say at around 7 p.m. IST, there might be a brief rain spurt. Whether that will ensure that play is not possible in Hyderabad at the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium, that remains to be seen. Anyway, Rajiv Gandhi Stadium, Uppal, has had terrible luck with the rain as far as things are concerned, because certain matches in the IPL got washed out. Then you look at it, one of the international games was also impacted by rain in the last couple of years. So when it comes to rain in Hyderabad, it's not looking all that great. So the weather forecast is not looking good, but we might still get a game, maybe a truncated game at max. So that is the current situation. Now, when you look at the world of other sports, big development when you have to look at when it comes to the IOA, the IOC, the International Olympic Council, has stopped all funding to the IOA because there are certain governance issues, and unless the governance issues are not sorted out, the IOA will be cash strapped. IOC will not give them any form of funding at this stage. So big developments when you look at it. Anyway, there is a huge tussle between Kalyan Chaube and PT Usha, the vote of no confidence that has been touted. But actually, when you look at it, the governance issues stem a lot more. There is no domain in the IOA. There is a website. It's just not there at this stage. So financial issues, governance issues plague the IOA. How they are going to come out of this is a huge mess indeed. Now, if you have to look at it, football, there are international friendlies that are going on. Argentina were held to a draw. Brazil got their World Cup qualifying campaign back on track. But England in the Nations League lost to Greece. And Greece, remember, is dealing with a player who recently died, an English-born player who plays for Greece. He died, unfortunately, and that is why it was an emotional moment for Greece. First ever victory in the history of football for Greece against England. Italy were held to a draw by Belgium, and that is why football continues to have that international friendlies in which World Cup qualifications is at stake. Nations League is also going to happen at this stage. So plenty of international football action going on. So today it is India versus Bangladesh, the third and final T20I. But tomorrow is a huge day for the India women's team, because India will take on Australia. But today New Zealand are taking on their opponent, and if they win that, must-win game for India in the women's T20 World Cup. Many people were wondering, oh, Australia might be weakened by the injuries to Alyssa Healy and Taylor Vlaminick. But still, Australia has so much depth that they could come out on top. But yes, India will be boosted by the fact that might be no Alyssa Healy and Taylor Vlaminick. But Vlaminick's absence actually doesn't contribute much, because Australia have got all bases covered there. But Alyssa Healy's injury could be a huge blow. Who will keep if Alyssa Healy is not fit? Beth Mooney. Beth Mooney might be the Australian keeper. Australia still start as the favourites, but India's chances get a big boost with no Alyssa Healy there. So big day tomorrow in the India versus Australia Women's T20 World Cup. If India win that, and if New Zealand lose, then net run rate will determine it, and then India are through. If both New Zealand and India win, then net run rate will determine, and India's net run rate is pretty good. But if they are hammered by Australia, then I guess it's game over for them. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this edition of the Morning Wrap. We'll be back for the India versus Bangladesh T20I match. And do subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. Bye-bye.